development.
And so what are the challenges that you see for the years ahead, and what would be your, not your recipes, but your recommendations to address these challenges? This afternoon we had a presentation and you mentioned 3 or 4 challenges.
Well, if you take the book, right, if you take the book, which is the page turner, it reads very nicely, but then you see that the longest chapter is the chapter number 10, Uncertain Future, in which I'm referring to 12 so-called great issues of the future, with capital letters, G-I-F. 12 of them. One is the limit of economic growth. Another is the equitable income distribution. Another is ecological barrier and pollution of the environment. But there are also the issues which are not strictly economic, but of cultural or social or political or security nature. But if you ask me a clear question, what is the biggest challenge? I would say challenge number 1 is of institutional nature. That is reinstitutionalization of interdependent world economy. When I'm talking institutions, I mean in behavioral sense, rules of the game, not the organization as such. Here, one of the institutions, that is the rule settler and the executor, an important one, yet also with the future which must be somehow rescheduled, restructured, this is the United Nations system. Second biggest challenge, by all means, that is nothing new. This is the the edge between, the feedback between economic activity of the mankind, of the human beings, and the mother nature. That is the pollution, that is the natural environment, that is warming up the climate, etc., etc. Third biggest challenge, I would say, this is the risk of getting the mass migration going into millions because of inequality and poverty and some other negative processes out of control. It's a very big risk, and one must be careful. One must ask well in advance to avoid such uncontrolled migration, which can break the process of very difficult building of social cohesion in the global sense. And on theoretical side, or say, if you would ask me the question, what is now the biggest challenge for development economists? I would say this is how to build the new post-GDP theory of development economics, and how to design post-GDP economic policy and strategy, because we do live in post-GDP world, which we are, how you measure, then you act in this way. So this is the challenge, and I don't put much of trust in my book, in my train of thought, in my reasoning, in my teaching and advising into orthodox, mainstream, narrow-focused economics. I think it's gone with the wind. This is the time for heterodoxy. This is the time for holistic approach. This is the time for interdisciplinary exercise. And only along this line we may find a little bit of new theoretical insight, and then political advice, and then maybe practical, pragmatical moves in our long quest for better future. That is what I'm giving in this interdisciplinary book, and the more we will discuss this, the better, because actually important is also subtitle, Politics and Economics in a Volatile World, or this is the political economy of globalization, of interdependent mankind and people. And there is the way out. It's not true that the book is about everything and this is difficult to understand. It is my duty as a thinker, as a researcher, to think, to consider in a model, sophisticated, scientific way. But to teach and to speak and to write, it must be as simple as possible, but not simpler. So I have written the book in a convention of a popular book, and then that is the reason why it became such a big international bestseller and the page turner, because now people say, ah yeah, now I understand what depends upon what, and what I may expect from the future, and what I may do to improve a little bit the situation of myself, of my family, of my region, of my business, of my nation, etc. And I'm also trying to convince the people that sometimes try to do so. You're getting up in the morning, you're shaving yourself, or you are making a make-up to look even more beautiful than you are. see the person in the mirror, in the looking glass, first as the citizen of the world, where we are heading in this volatile world, and only then as Chinese or American, European or African, and only then as Polish or Russian, Brazilian or Nigerian, and only then as a citizen of Moscow or Beijing or Rio de Janeiro or Krakow. And then you see the same things in a little bit different perspective. And I think that this perspective upon what's going on in the contemporary world and the world of the future is understanding what and why is happening. And I'm sharing my view with my readers, and I invite everybody to join this debate, even on the blog, which is accompanying the book, on the special portal volatileworld.net, and on my Facebook, because this is the time of the debate, so on the Facebook, facebook.com/Tylotko. And I'm ready to answer all the questions. You know, first I'm asking and inviting everybody to raise the issues and to ask the questions, and then I'm sitting till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, answering the questions to the students from Korea and from Argentina, from New Zealand and from the Philippines. This is 24 hours economy, and when I was
But you still need to sleep.
Well, I'm trying to sleep no more than 4 or 5 hours. You know, I'm a fit man. I'm jogging, I'm running marathon. I'm vegetarian. I'm not watching TV. I'm not wasting time. I'm doing as much as possible to work to find an answer for the question which I was asked. Tell us, professor, how the things are as they are. What is the reason? What is the cause? Who or what is behind it? And recently, when I was getting ready for this visit to the United States, I had to work in Warsaw till 3 o'clock a.m. because at 3 o'clock a.m. Warsaw time, they shut the computers in California and Berkeley and Stanford. But before I switched on the computer, I started to get the emails from China because they started the new year. So, never-ending story. But first of all, never-ending story because each answer instantly is a new question. So it is inspiring, it's fascinating, it's challenging, but I think there is a sensible way forward towards the better future, and the social sciences can make a great contribution to this end. I'm trying to do my best, and now this is the time to share it with my readers. So I invite you to continue this discourse, this debate. It deserves so.
Thank you, Professor Tylotko. Thank you.
you.
I am Jean-Marc Coicot from the United Nations University, and we're having a conversation